Next session is how XR will reinvent the digital experience for people and brands. It will be presented by Lucky Gobindram, and he's the general manager at CXR. CXR is a New York-based XR technology studio that's focused on designing and building defining XR technologies and experiences. Lucky is a futurist and communicator whom effectively brings his ideas to technical and non-technical audiences alike. He often speaks on topics related to social capital, spatial computing, and app ecosystems. Give it up for Lucky.
Hi, everybody. How you doing today? Great to be in person with you all. How's your first day? I hope you're having as much fun as me. As mentioned, I'm Lucky Gobindram. I serve as the GM at CXR. CXR is a spatial technology lab focused on creating technology that changes the way we live, work, and play. So I'll dive right on in. Within a decade, the whole way in which everyday consumers perceive and interact with the world around us is set to undergo a tremendous shift. The imminent upsurge in the extended reality market is upon us. And what our day-to-day realities will look like by the end of 2030 is up to the collective ability of our imaginations. At CXR, we're arming companies with XR solutions that change the way they do business and interact with their customers. As we're all aware, the creation of the metaverse is imminent. But while customers and consumers are actively experimenting with XR, most businesses have been slower to evolve, adapt, and adopt. With over 1 billion users and higher conversion rates, the lack of retailers experimenting with and generally using XR is perplexing. We all have our theories, but this is what businesses are saying. Despite Meta and Microsoft charging forward with their solutions and big names like Wayfair, IKEA, and now Nike, I think we all saw Nike double down last week, quietly filing 7 patents and trademarks with a focus on virtual goods, as well as hiring several roles in the metaverse. Experimenting with interesting applications of AR, VR, and NFT tech has mostly been relegated to a handful of brands. Most brands are simply unsure where to begin and in turn unprepared for what's next. They don't have the knowledge, may not see the immediate value, I'm not sure how or why they don't, or don't have the bandwidth. So what are they focused on instead? Most brands today are focused on the old guard, social media, with 25% year-over-year growth in social ad spend. What was once the vanguard of digital advertising has now become a corporate security blanket. That's not to say it's all worthless. It's still driving over half of Gen Z's impulse purchases. And social media obviously sees the direction things are moving. Take Facebook. I mean, Meta's huge 10K, or is it 20K now, workforce investment into the space. And less covered in the media, but interesting nonetheless, is Complex Media, and what Snap has been doing. So Complex recently announced, I think it was a couple days ago, that they're creating AR experiences that allow you to try on product while interacting with ads within Snap. And so are other companies. Snap is doubling down on that. So meaningful experiences like this Snap Complex collaboration will begin to earn AR tech equity with users as they see the ways in which the tech affects their lives positively. But you know what else is driving and paving the way for? XR and truly spatial first experiences. Brands have an opportunity to marry technology and culture in a functional way. And we are just getting started. Spatial-faced XR experiences are the new wave. While traditional social networks are already on the outs with the younger generations, XR is getting ready to put the final nail in their collective coffin. Users don't want to waste their time zombie scrolling. They want immersive experiences that merge the virtual world with the real world. According to PR Week, Gen Z is quitting social media in droves. 34% of Gen Z say they permanently are quitting social media, while 64% are taking a sabbatical. They want to have fun in the metaverse, where they can play, socialize, and even enter digital spaces. According to AR Insider, 51% of Gen Z identify AR as very important for entertainment and social connections. People don't want to continue to be slaves to their newsfeed, Skinner box, echo chamber, but take back control of their tech in their lives with meaningful, rewarding experiences that truly provide brand and customer value. And brands need to recognize this now. Because while social media may have been the key to younger consumers in the past, it's XR that will help secure the consumers and the future of their brands. To be clear, how consumers perceive brands and how brands reach them will be disrupted and evolve significantly. Companies will need real XR strategies to shape their brand image and build awareness around their products, brand ethos, and values. To not do so will inevitably cause detriments, as small as lost opportunities and as large as shutting down. And that's what's most exciting to us at CXR. The convergence of these trends to forge new dynamics with social spatial experiences and commerce. When you take a closer look at what's happening in the evolution of e-commerce, social media, and advertising, it's easy to see that as an industry, we are failing to create meaningful change as we fail to approach strategies for their evolution in a cohesive manner. The market is telling us that the digital experiences need to be remade for both consumers and brands. And that's why companies need to start pivoting away from social media advertising. People are scrolling past as brands spend wads of cash on consumers who are not really interested. Brands are blindly pumping more dollars into social media advertising, but users are growing averse to these networks themselves. It's not a sound business model moving forward. The business world must recognize what's coming and start preparing now, or risk playing catch up with forward-thinking companies for years and in some cases decades to come. It's important to recognize that while it's a small percentage, there are brands leveraging and applying XR with value. At CXR, we've helped some of the world's biggest brands. For example, Constellation Brands and its subsidiaries like Pacifico and Modelo, Richemont and its subsidiaries like Montblanc, Piaget, Panerai, and many more, HBO Max, TD Bank, and many more, start integrating XR elements into marketing, retail, e-commerce, and ad campaigns. For example, we worked with Modelo to harness the power of web AR to fuel excitement for their merchandise collaboration with conceptual retail brand RSVP. The campaign was tied to a gamified sweepstakes giveaway, engaging consumers by blending XR with the real world, a real benefit for the end users. It was an absolute hit, with thousands entering the sweepstakes to win the collection. We're also developing custom virtual showrooms, an AR, VR retail platform for the metaverse, as well as pop-ups that have zero physical or real-world products. Just brand experiences, enabling brands to bring the brand and products to users in an exciting, immersive format. And that's just a taste of what's to come. What we see in the early stages today are components of the shopping and e-commerce facets of the metaverse that will provide a range of immersive social shopping experiences to augment your real world and transport you to virtual worlds. As the tech matures, true-to-life avatars will enable users to yield increasing value from their interactions with their favorite brands through fully interactive commerce and brand marketing experiences. According to the US Department of Commerce quarterly report, e-commerce sales in the US skyrocketed in 2020, growing 44.5%, 36.6%, and 32.1% for the second, third, and fourth quarters respectively over 2019. On the other hand, more than 11,000 stores closed in the US in 2020, a record that will likely be broken again in 2021. The paradigms of commerce continue to shift. Shopping from the convenience of your home continues to rise, while brick-and-mortar retail continues to struggle. If we look at these trends, we must ask ourselves, how do we build our platforms leveraging the new technologies available to us to better provide more delightful shopping experiences in the metaverse, giving users the convenience they seek while not losing fun, discovery, and social aspects of traditional shopping? Think of it as applying the very best aspects of mall culture developed through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and fusing it with the advanced technology of today, while removing the constraining aspects of developing and maintaining a large retail presence. It's actually our chance to create e-commerce tech with social aspects that is actually social. So how will we get there? We've all been talking and thinking about this for a while, trying to understand when, where, how. The answer is now. The shopping metaverse will be built by brands developing spatial-first experiences with consumers in mind. And the biggest drivers are largely the same as those driving XR in general. The tech is evolving, and the rate of change is going to continue to gain momentum. We have already seen adoption skyrocket, and both users as well as corporate buy-in is growing as headsets have become sleeker, cheaper, and more mainstream. A key indicator is the Oculus Quest 2. Cumulative sales hit a record 4.6 million, as XR headset shipments almost tripled year over year. I think it's safe to say this will continue to rise exponentially. While I love the Quest 2, and I use mine daily, I believe we're still waiting for VR's Macintosh, but it'll come. Coupled with the fact that 5G is becoming mainstream, we know significantly better experiences in every way are on the horizon, pun intended. Additionally, beyond the 5G, the device accessibility, wearables are going to become more and more accessible, right? So 5G is becoming mainstream. We know significantly better experiences in everywhere on the horizon, right? And of course, the most popular kit in school is web AR. It's boosting engagement and campaigns across every industry that use it, which is propelling the industry. Powerful AR glasses are too in our near future. The promise of the tech Magic Leap and HoloLens have developed indicate to us the powerful XR interactions, not just catching Pikachu in Central Park, which is fun and all, but will become commonplace. in the lives of millions of Americans and many more around the world. Users will grow accustomed to contextual information coming to them rather than having to seek it out, changing the ways we travel, shop, interact, and socialize. There will always be skeptics and pundits asking whether users are prepared for or want this all to happen. The answer is yes. If we're looking at data around the financial forecast of the industry, the numbers are clear. The global spend on AR is going to skyrocket, $12 to $72 billion in just the next 3 years, according to Deloitte. Money is being poured into the industry. Brands are getting tangible results and data. Money aside, the latest virtual reality statistics show that 52.1 million people in the US will use the technology at least once per month in 2020. That marks a 20.9% increase from 2019's 43.1 million. More and more US residents are also expected to start using VR more frequently. The number is expected to increase to 57.4 million in 2021 and further to 60.8 million in 2022. If the predictions hold true, this means that in the 4-year period from 2018 to 2022, the number of people using VR every month will have increased 75.7%. Right now, there are fewer than 500,000 jobs worldwide that are impacted by VR and/or AR. This will change this decade, with as many as 23 million jobs set to be using AR and VR in one way or another for training, meetings, customer service purposes by 2030. So are people ready? Yes, they are. If those XR market stats still don't convince you, there's something else to consider. It's investing. And in this case, XR is an investment that will pay off. To embrace XR in your company and see the benefits as quickly as possible, it's important to think carefully about how you might want to use this new technology. Consider where your employees and customers could benefit from the access to new and extended reality. The good news is that with the correct planning, immersive AR and VR technology can exceed expectations. We collectively as an industry we have barely scratched the surface of what use cases could benefit from VR and/or AR, and many of the ways in which the tech will be used in the future are yet to be articulated. Huge opportunities lay dormant within this new frontier. Capgemini research says that 82% of companies using this tech are seeing it meet or exceed their expectations. For example, Boeing discovered that they could reduce the amount of time engineers require for wiring production by 25% after replacing assembly manuals with smart glasses. I bet they can drive it down even further if these are the results they are getting with this generation of technology. The key to success with XR implementation is considering where your employees and customers currently face the biggest challenges and begin to design around those pain points. If companies keep operating business as usual, they risk being washed out by other companies that understand the power of spatial and consumer behavior. Most did not see Amazon coming back when they were just a little internet bookstore. Success depends on adapting to the evolving consumer computing paradigms. The next industrial revolution doesn't have to happen overnight, and it most likely won't. There are easy, bite-sized tactics brands can start with to gain competitive edge, from evolving their approach to marketing and digital asset creation to developing 3D assets and a spatial strategy. If a brand hasn't integrated basic XR elements in their e-commerce or marketing experiences, now's the time. By starting to build equity in this space, companies can start earning the trust of the next generation while learning their own organizational lessons about which paths may or may not work for them. Consumer trust is essential to the industry. We want to make delightful experiences, but we're also changing the way people interact with and exist within the digital realm. The internet has traditionally been experienced in 2D, but for the first time, we're learning to merge it with the real 3D world or create entirely new worlds within, in tandem with our physical surroundings. XR will bridge the gap between the digital and physical worlds. It's about turning information into an experience. And this is an incredible milestone for the internet and how we use it for enjoyment and to improve our lives. And that's why brands must take note. You can make a stronger impact than ever before and help customers, employees, and users worldwide make better informed purchases and decisions and have a better time doing it. If you're just waking up now, figuratively or literally, know this. Social media and e-commerce strategies are working for now, but make no mistake, XR smells blood in the water. Don't be the slowest swimmer. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me. Remember, if you continue to live in the past, you can never change the future. Please reach out or find me outside if you have any questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lucky.